Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Magic Arena Run. A little bit late on the midweek Magic today, but we are having Standard Pauper, so I can't complain about not following the Pauper ban list because it's standard this time. Not much, definitely not much of a ban list there. But there are some cards that are notedly in Pauper that have been banned in Standard. That did not kind of carry over, but maybe it's not as busted here. When I take a what if I see them, I'll mention them, but otherwise, we are going to be playing a little bit into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme. Actually, we're just playing with food here. So this is what. So quick look on what the deck looks like. And oddly enough, as far as food is concerned, we do have a few. There is a bit of a food team for Green Black. We are not playing with all the pizzas. There are some food items that are just that are just better, but we do have Ice Cream Kitty as a new addition. You can sacrifice another creature or a token to draw a card, so we can use this only as a sorcery, but that's fine. Or we can just sacrifice it to gain 3 life. We tend to use the latter half more, but it's nice to have options. We also have the anchovy and banana pizza. Anchovy a little bit too big. Um, just as a straight removal spell, that's also kind of fine too. So what are we using all the food for here? Now, built into TMN, built into TMNT, their main payoff is would be the putrid pals. Eh, you want to sacrifice something first, then you'd have this enter. It will become in as a 4 mana 5/5 death touch. Not the strongest payoff for that. Let's see what are the other payoffs they had for food. It's not by the foot. Okay, this is a well. This is actually just a reprint of Candy Grapple. No, not Candy Grapple. Candy Grapple's bargain. This one is just straight kicker. That's fine. Yeah. Okay, so you have like a foot mystic. If a permanent left the battlefield, make a 1/1 black ninja creature token. Not that strong. But it's a viable option. There's the guac and marshmallow pizza. We're not running this because we don't need the pump effect that much. That's not exactly our way of winning here. So escape is gen. Put a +1 on. I guess Michelangelo would be a decent option for someone to keep growing. But we have already someone else at the 3 mana slot. Chain reaction might be a fine side for tech, I would say. Ragamuffin Raptor would be a good way to get stuff back, but at 5 mana, I did consider this. We do play the long game, so this would be fine. I wish it said and, but I guess 1 for 1 is fine at common. Yeah, you can't exactly expect too much outside there. Anyway, so we have to kind of dig deeper into our previous sets. So we have Corpseberry Cultivator. This one does forage pretty quickly. We still want to save the food tokens as much as possible. Our other payoff is like say Hamlet Glutton. 5 mana 6/6 gain 3 life is still reasonable in this format. Hollow Scavenger. This one's a scary enough payoff, but pretty much the free food token for 1 mana is fine there. There, Sweet Tooth Witch is where we get our long term gain. with an with enough food tokens, one Sweet Tooth Witch should be able to close out the deal, and we have plenty of ways. So Feed the Cauldron, we pretty much want to be doing this on our turn. We really want the food token. Savor, there are plenty enough targets that especially people are going to be insisting in Sneak. That said, we do have to run 3 copies of Stab precisely because people are going to be playing a lot of Sneak. We do have 2 copies of Rowan's Grim Search as just as a way to dig deeper. Other options other options for consideration were actually the Omni Pizza as a way to get more card draw. I could sub it out for Ice Cream Kitty, but we're short. We're not exactly deep on the creature count, so Instant Ramen would also be a good fit here as well. Though no, I would say Nutrient Block would be the better fit. in this sense because it's a 1 mana cheaper. Sure, we don't get flash, but and even then, we might be better off with just the guac pizza if we really wanted a 1 mana flash food. So, okay, this one is we could use some help here. Okay, this is definitely a sneak deck of sorts. I'm actually quite concerned because we are we are going to be lagging behind in this one. I probably should have mulliganed this hand. The trend line here is that it's somewhat faster. If we can survive long enough, sure. I guess it helps that the good sneak cards are really uncommon up, so we might be fine there. If we don't draw mana, we probably won't be we probably won't be that fine anymore. So that is a bit of a concern. Having the vast majority of our deck be 3 mana and up is really a concern here. So that 2 mana hand was a super loose, to be honest. It's really, it's really loose. I'll wait for one more. But if we don't hit our mana, or if we hit one of our, I don't know if our opponent's also having. No, our opponent's definitely not having problems. I suspect a lot of removal. Yeah, at least we could kind of buy some time. I'm just gonna force them to discard sack. We don't get the food token. That's a shame. We really could use that, but yeah, this is looking like the sketchiest keep. An object lesson to not keep 2 mana hands if you know your deck. If you know your deck really operates on 3 mana. Okay, finally, somewhat saved. I will actually start off with the Hallowed Scavenger because that one's already visible. Our opponent is clearly holding up removal. I'm gonna let them at it. I want to preserve the Corpseberry Cultivator for as long as I can. Our opponent could also be playing Big Red. Oh no, they just went out to destroy the food token as well. Oh, okay. So, good thing I have other ways of getting a food token. So now we're trying to look for a way to hit 2 more mana. 1 more mana would be nice. It would allow me to Scavenger into. It would allow me to Bakery Raid into Scavenger. Plasma Bolt, that's fine. Okay, we're kind of drawing all of our Sweet Tooth Witches. Okay, we'll play Cultivator. I'll Forage, or maybe our opponent goes to pop it before the Forage. That's fine. We're not playing a lot of creature removal. It's nice to get it all out of the way. Runner. Are they just gonna go pump it right away? Probably not gonna. I'm actually gonna have to bargain this. So I'm looking for. But this is. Ooh, okay. So depending on what our opponent plays out, we probably discard. I'm gonna play these 2. I'll discard a Sweet Tooth Witch because I think we're gonna just go for Hamlet Bloodlands here. Maybe our opponent could close it out. Maybe they have enough burn already. I don't know, they're just upgrading. They're just really getting rid of the food tokens here. Okay, the jig's kinda up. But that's kinda why I went for the Hamlet Glutton play. I figured I might have a hard time sticking a food token down. Kitten. We got another pizza. But we're just gonna go for Hamlet Glutton preserve our life. We'll go back again. We do have the common lands from Duskmorn though, so there might be a reason for us to, but I'm pretty sure our opponent will help get us to 13 life if it's not us getting them to 13. We're also just one more mana from straight up playing these guys. I'm actually surprised. I expected our opponent to be a lot faster. Did they just really keep creature removal heavy? Okay. They probably have a way to deal 5 damage. Or 4. I'll just take. Let's see what they want to pop off in response. Actually, there's probably a good reason to pop these off. Our opponent, I forgot what the name of the version of Madness is in Spider-Man. Okay, but they kind of want to draw cards. We're gonna force them to either pump or pop. They didn't even pop it, so they probably like what they have. And nope, they did not. So that was a super sketchy keep. If our opponent had a much better opening sequence, we would have been dead. So that is still not a. So at least we know we have some reach if we can survive long enough. And a lot of our removal is geared towards the early game, so that's what we have to keep in mind. Combat on your turn, make a red mutant, it gains haste, destroy, target attacking creature gains indestructible. It's giving me vibes of Cats. I mean, Cats as in live action, so not in a good way. Which is a shame. The TMNT does have very deep lore. If you go beyond the 90s cartoon, it has a lot of lore. It's actually quite. We do have a lot of ETB tap lands. That is one thing I will comment on. I'm gonna just consume this right away. I'm concerned that usually if there's evasion, it could be a suit up deck of sorts where you simply slap enchantments on this bad boy. Or not. This is looking a bit weird. Let's just give our point. So probably looking to maybe just Grim Search. Otherwise, I could just play these out. Our opponent's playing 3 colors, and I have no idea what they're. Yeah, I really want to play this as a 1-2, so we'll actually do that. I'm gonna get yourself some ice cream, guys. Okay, that will. Shell game. So dog walk. Okay, so they. Yeah, I'm probably gonna end up deploying the Grim Search at this point. Yeah, we will take. Feed the Cauldron. We could feed the Cauldron on this. Oh no, this is other creatures. Okay, so. Yep, they were gonna walk the dog. Wait, hold on. I'm just reading. 9 a.m. tomorrow. Me. Okay, opponent decided to go for the heritage reclamation. They probably should. Okay, we can. So this one's still around for 2 more turns. And we'll probably. So opponent. No, they chose to go for it. So our opponent, no, so see on this other hand, our opponent had a really good curve, and this was already with. And so if we're gonna start eating, food, it's gonna. Yeah, I guess we do have to do a very grim search here. Yeah, when it says grim search, they really mean it's a grim search. Yeah, we're getting overloaded here. Opponent probably just maybe even gave us the option. So sadly, it's going to end up becoming a trade. And if our opponent has any removal, our opponent decided to go with the. Well, they did have some removal, but they were really creature heavy. So they swing with everything. I'm forced to block. If this happens to be yet another dog walker, I think I'm dead. Yeah. Ugh. So a bit unfortunate. We only drew like 3. 4 pieces of removal, but we never established the board presence early enough. That's an issue here. And yeah, I don't think we really hit any of our Hamlet Gluttons or Horseberry Cultivators as payoffs. Those would have bought us a lot of time. We voted this case. Not gonna let our opponent flurry that. Red Mage is Rapier, okay. So a bunch of equipment. We'll probably be firing Feed the Cauldron. If I think I need mana, I would be firing Heat Harvest. I think I need mana here. Ooh, they're going for the pump to finish it off. Okay. So that's 11 damage. If our opponent has to spend mana to re-equip, I'm kind of fine with that. Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, we're gonna get. It looks like our opponent just gets a free pump, and we're kind of over. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame we kind of stalled out here. We were not able to have time to play any of these. Yeah, this time it's super aggro. Yeah, that was enough. Yeah, so somewhat struggling a little bit here. We're kind of in the mid range, and if we don't, so we kind of struggle. I wouldn't. I don't know about struggling against. We probably would struggle against control also. So yeah, it's not exactly the greatest deck, but it's still a fun concept. I guess this would be a good argument for, like, say, subbing up some of these lands for the TMNT versions of life gain lands. And the reason to do it, yeah, because it's still pretty much an additional potential for more life, which could mean quite a lot. Ooh, someone actually going for artifacts. I'm wondering how they handle it. I tried considering the artifact team also. I didn't feel like there were any. You could easily go really wide, but I wasn't so sure what the. Okay, so our opponent's going for really wide. So right away. I would like one more mana so that I could hold up, say, a 3 drop and still hold up stab. probably start playing the cultivator at this point. Our opponent is going tokens wide, so we want to start having additional features now. Okay, got it. I would say the carrot cake would actually have been a very good food option here. Now, as far as these lands, I probably might have considered one or two. I probably would consider a few of these as well. That some of the avatar lands would be quite good. Also remember, I have to activate. I have to pay attention which one I'm activating here if I want to get token off here. Our opponent really is just going wide. Actually, no, I'll block you first. It's always a pump effect. Could be removal. In which case, at least I soaked up 1 damage. I suspect it's some sort of pump. I think they want to get rid of that, but probably should have waited for damage to be dealt. So yeah, we're gonna go very cultivator this time. Might as well swing with the witch, right? Like, sure, I could block, but I think I would also want to start getting some damage in. Yeah, especially because they're just gonna pop it anyway. So, you know what? I'll give them another target. Also, it does also help me somewhat fill the yard a bit. Jumps are expected. Also, I need to decide my economy if. It's like this. You can get them down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, sacrifice here. Okay, Eric trying to preserve the life total. Bring your opponent down to 7. So if I take out 1 food token, they're forced to. gonna declare foraging at this point. Opponent's gonna be forced to block this one, so on board, our opponent will have to sacrifice the... Ah, shoot. Sorry. So we are actually getting dangerously low. So if they have another way to generate 2 more tokens, it's bad for me. So I might need to start sacrificing these tokens for the food tokens for actual life here. So we're not closing out the game anytime soon. Oh yeah, they have Discover Lands too. That's fine. That's fine. We kind of ditched that plan already. I could just start holding back, but yeah, I don't think I want another cultivate. We'll do a Grim Search, but no bargain because I need the life. That would be so nice. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I shouldn't have played that. Yeah, I should not have played that. I got greedy all of a sudden. We needed to... I needed to be able to sack this one. I guess it would have been nice to just play it. That would have been the next turn play. But we needed to wait our opponent out there, so that one's a bit of my fault. Still looking for that elusive second win. Well, I got 2 wins earlier testing the deck, but on camera we've only gotten 1 win. Ooh, could we improve our odds there? Everything's go. Okay. This one is a somewhat better keep. I probably want the Heat Harvest because we're catching up on mana, so sad to say we're giving up the removal for now. So turn 2, Hollow Scavenger, turn 3, hit the... See what our opponent's... There's also the option to just hold up Stab, but I don't think there's a flash creature. I might be wrong. Right, Peddlers. Okay, that is something I would... maybe even kind of lined up. That's something I would snipe. Okay, the kitty on that one. When it's got... we really are going for the death. No. I'm gonna play out... Yeah, I have to play out the hollowed scavenger to give us an option that can punch through the snare spinner on one turn. They might just have a fight effect though. Okay, it's a fight effect. Ooh, it might be in trouble. So this is a case of where I would like the Sweet Tooth Wish to keep punching. Okay, each player loses 2 life gold. And take note, this is token, so I will only be able to sack this one. Or activate only as a sorcery. Okay. So yeah, we're in. Okay, fine. They can do 2 life. I'm actually seeing the possibility that I might have to start going dome with this. So we're gonna hold back on sacrificing food and the Sweet Tooth Witch. Yeah, but we now need. Wow. Ooh, they even get the food token as well. Okay. We can take our opponent to 5, but we need additional. I might rather have to bargain this, dig a little deeper. Buwan naman ka na. Sige, tane. Whew, okay, at least the stab did something useful there. And I afford to take 13. I have no choice. I do have to take 13. And yet, no, you can't pump. It's sorcery speed. Yeah, it's a shame that this one is you're not that good. Yeah, getting Stonewall so early really hurt us there. We needed removal for this, and this one just hit this. I think we also binned the pizza, so really hurt us a bit there. Yeah, unfortunately, we can only get so far here. We needed more time. Yeah, it was so close. If it wasn't for this, yeah, like we gave our opponent a lot of time. We really could use more removal here. Sad, we would have to dig deep into off-team removal, but actually no, there is bacon to apply. We could get that for additional we could get that for additional removal. That would also be that's also an option. It would be instant speed as well. So I don't wanted to highlight the pizza, but we did not really have any artifacts synergies there. So yeah, I probably would sub out with bacon to apply instead. Okay, we one is actually just scrying. Ooh, so far mono. If our opponent does nothing else, I probably play Kitty. If they play something with flying, I will savor it right away. I think I am gonna savor this right away. Our opponent seems to be a card draw based deck, so if they have a payoff on board, we need to take it out first. Yeah, Kitty a bit glacially slow now than I think. I also suspect our opponent might be holding into a bunch of counters, so we're gonna play a lot of this innocuous stuff first. See if our opponent's willing to fire off into this. They are. Okay. Terror. Well, our opponent. Okay, so second spell each turn. So this is a good counter. So this is a good saver target. Yeah, sure. I wasn't gonna block anyway. The draw card is kind of significant. I'll be so annoyed if he has a negate-like effect. Bounce off. Still somewhat annoyed. Yeah, we just don't have really good matchups here. Might have to start using this guy to dig for cards after all. Now that said, we do have hard removal. I'm probably just gonna... Actually, no. I'm just gonna have to sack food, draw a land, and just get land off in the process. What I can do is I can sack this, grab another land off, start drawing cards with this. And I might concede if I don't find anything good. And then eat the cauldron, okay, that's something. This one allows me to sack another creature, so I'm probably just gonna take for now. Really feels bad, man. I'm drawing all these lands, it feels really bad. Cauldron doesn't do it. Savor, that doesn't do it. I could savor on this, but yeah, that doesn't do it. I can block one and sack it for life, I guess. That's fine. But if I can't block both, it's bad. Yeah. I needed to be able to block one. Ah, can't. Can't win them all. I should probably also start looking for ways to eat the graveyard. Well, not my graveyard, the opponent's graveyard. Yeah, I'm gonna give this. Yeah, this is gonna be the last game. Hopefully we could get it on the last match. Okay, we got some stabs. If it was late game like what our opponent did, we are not gonna. I think our opponent took a mulligan. That might. Hey, we will never know. Okay, I really have to take another one out for this. Ginger Brute is also another consideration. That it's a cheap enough food and early enough creature. I would have to adjust the mana base. Okay, this one's fine. We have some removal. It's also it's also slow. But yeah, if I were to redo this one, I would add the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, some game lands as well. So this time we really want the banana pizza. But more importantly for us now, we want the third. Yeah, we also would have been okay if we'd been able to play out these Hamlet Bloodlands. I might end up cutting some of the Gulch lands for more basics, I guess. a... I'll play out Scavenger first. It's now a card in hand, and I suspect our opponent had... Oh, they had refute, they did not refute. Steady draw 2 cards, sure. I think I'm going to drop some... Well, if it's 4 mana now, I won't be able to feed it. Okay, one is really holding back. To the point where they're now discarding cards, so I'm not getting what the game is here. Now take note, if it's my turn, and the reason I'm holding on to Saber is because if our opponent's playing really big creatures, there's probably some instances where I might be able to make this somewhat better. But I still need to draw land. Oh, no, okay, Inspiring Overseer. Oh, so our opponent needed white. I'm gonna swing with this one first. If our opponent blocks, I just play Heat Harvest. And no, I just sack. If not, I just play Heat Harvest. Start digging. Okay. Our opponent is actually a Flyers deck, so our Savers does have a bit more utility here. Probably should not have waited for them to... They probably have another Phantom Interference, so fire it off now. Negate. Okay. I really need to start taking lands. Land with a bit. Land that's untapped would be fine. I'd be able to play this and still hold up for this. Well, they might have a counter spell for this. Rather get it out of the way. Yeah, they're going for the full spree here. Makeshift Binding finally gets rid of the Scavengers. What's their follow-up play? Valarian Terror. Okay, now we need 6 mana for this. 5. They probably have another counter spell. I should have played this one first. Okay, didn't get countered, but they could still have something. Yeah, I really wish the heat harvest landed. Well, party investigate. I might have to also just hold back on this one so that I can feed feed the food to the Hamlet gluttons. But it looks like, yeah, I should have started digging for land earlier. And since I have no intention to block, I am. Fix the beaches. Okay, so they do have removal effects. Probably means I should not. I should just use this to hold back for as long as I can. It also means that if I do draw my 6th land, this is not a guarantee. So I'm gonna fire these off first. Yeah. Did they really have the all counter hand? Yeah. I have to go for it, but I probably... If they have a counter spell in hand, I automatically lose. If they have to dig for it, okay, it's not too bad. Okay, we barely dodged that bullet. Also note our opponent has drawn a lot more cards than we have. We're technically on board to lose this one. So let's see. If they have a counter spell, I just lose. Also, Hamlet Glutton not quite the same as sacking of food. Also, I'm just gonna go for the other one. If they have a counter spell, I lose. But if I went for Hamlet Glutton and they have a makeshift binding, I lose. Yeah, I would say that I probably want bacon to apply now. Yeah, I won't be able to sacrifice this green life. See if they have a counter for this. If they do, I just lose. I would have... An extra food would have been fine so I could gain life. As it is, they could have any sort of any number of enchantment effects that would kill me right then and there. Right, and okay, so they maybe I could survive long. No, if I won't be able to survive long enough to dodge another two Talarian terrors. There's the third one. So in hindsight, this will probably need to be bumped up to 4, but man, our man is. Yeah, so unfortunately, the food deck is kind of stale. I would say that I probably played this one somewhat poorly. I really needed to get more lands out so that get more lands out earlier, so I didn't get snowballed here. But yeah, if I play this to block, that's yeah. There's no real out here. It's a bit of a shame. So I guess for standard, we can expect to see a lot of Talarian Terror style decks. So it's as I said, we are sadly in the middle of the mid range. We're we might have removal for early game, but we really have nothing under its control here. So not the greatest run, I suppose. One more into the breach. I'm probably gonna beat something else. We'll probably also comment that no one was really playing. Yeah, definitely playing this one first because the option of Saber turn 2 is actually going to be quite strong for us here, especially if okay, we have stab as an option now, so I'm actually going to wait. I might even let our opponent gain life here. The reason I'm playing the waiting game like this is because I suspect our opponent has some stab. So if they say have the protection spell, like a royal treatment, I can then just savor it afterwards. Really, it would feel really bad, but we kind of have to. I guess also I probably would like say drop these for just straight up more removal. We do have 3 cards though, so Cultivator is fine. Yeah, I'll do it at the same time. Yeah, so in hindsight, I would definitely gear this more towards control. So pretty much just the gluttons, just the sweet tooth witches. Maybe a lot fewer of these cultivators. With that said, cultivator is gonna strive right. Probably one to consider is there. There is some enchantment removal I could consider as well. Okay, 5 mana, so I'm gonna swing. Okay, this. I'm not gonna forage. Just gonna swing. And okay, let's see what they pump. They clearly have a pump effect. We're now kind of playing chicken here. What is our we already blocked. Okay. Okay, indestructible can't bypass, so we have to fire that off now. And that will get a concession. So yeah, we're gonna gear. I would gear this towards more removal. I'll show you the original deck list in the description, but yeah, definitely gear it towards more removal. That's it. That's gonna be it for this episode of Magic Arena Run. Like what you saw, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications. Yeah, so far I don't really have many comments for this set. I will probably do sealed much later today. We'll see how things go. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time. Take care. God bless. Stay safe wherever you are. Have a great week, everyone.